Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Federal government says PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has questions to answer over 156 million naira slush fund allegedly withdrawn from the defunct bank PHB. People's Democratic Party dismisses federal government's allegation of financial fraud against its presidential candidate, says APC is jittery over its candidate's visit to the US. Senator representing Kogi West, Dino Melaye, gets bail on the grounds of ill health to provide 3 sureties, including the clerk of the National Assembly. And Australians troop to beaches as the country faces extreme heat wave, causing an increase in hospital admissions and wildlife deaths. ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app have an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and then follow the instructions. The Ogun State Governor, Melaye has asked politicians to engage more in campaigns rather than violence. And according to him, whoever truly has the support of the electorate will protect them and not use the young population for dangerous acts. He was speaking during his ward-to-ward campaign in Odeda local government area of the state.
The reception of the governor of Ogun State by the people of Alabata community in Odeda local government area of Ogun State shows they've been expecting him. Governor Melaye is in the area as part of his ward-to-ward campaign to return to the Senate in February.
I know them intimately well, and they know me too. I mean, we are son of the soil. I mean, to them, I'm one of them and one of their son, and they relate with me in that context. Even us, they are our parents, and that is why nobody can take them for granted.
From one ward to another, the residents give assurances of their support.
We have never left him. We are always with him. This is because of the wonderful things we see around. We have never seen such a leader in the history.
More assurances come from the Hausa Fulani community.
All the Hausas, Fulanis, Bororos, and Meitiala are behind Governor Amosun. He is doing very well for us, and all we can do is to support him.
By the time the campaign train gets to some of the wards for the day, it's already nightfall, but this doesn't stop them. Governor Amosun considers these promises reassuring and an indication of victory.
If you see love like this, we should not take them for granted. And that is why we work around the clock, 24/7 for them. Saturday, Sunday, you see us running around to work for them, to compliment their good effort, to show appreciation for their warmth, for their sincerity of purpose. And of course, I have no doubt in my mind that we will carry the day when the election comes.
Governor Melaye also demanded for support for President Muhammadu Buhari's re-election and promised to visit all the 4 local government areas in Ogun Central Senatorial District before the end of January.
I'm still talking about campaign promises and plans. The governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has reeled out 5 pillars of development that he hopes to focus on if elected. Mr. Sanwo-Olu, who spoke in Lagos, said his vision for a greater Lagos includes traffic management and transportation, health and environment, education and technology, and entertainment and tourism. And one of the governorship hopefuls of the People's Democratic Party in Ogun State, Mr. Pt.2, has accused the electoral umpire of deliberately frustrating the PDP's ambition by interfering in the party's choice of candidates. Mr. Pt.2 told journalists at a news briefing today in Lagos that the party had already chosen him as the authentic Ogun State governorship candidate for the PDP. He questioned why INEC should exclude his name from its final candidates list. And moving on now, ahead of the February the 16th presidential election, 5 of the presidential candidates taking part in the poll will tomorrow, January the 19th, step up to tell Nigerians about their plans for the country if elected. The debate is being organized by the Nigeria Elections Debate Group and the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, which selected 5 political parties through an independent online poll, as well as surveys conducted across the country. Those taking part in the debate are the Allied Congress Party of Nigeria presidential candidate Obi Ezekwesili, Alliance for New Nigeria presidential candidate Feladru Toye, and the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari. The others are the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar and the Young Progressives Party presidential candidate Kingsley Moghalu. The debate will be transmitted live by all Bond member stations and on various social media platforms. Let's take a look at another look at the governorship hopeful of the People's Democratic Party in Ogun State. That's Mr. Pt.2. He told journalists at a news briefing today that the party had already chosen him as the authentic Ogun State governorship candidate for the PDP.
There's a desperation to dismember our party, the People's Democratic Party. INEC continually interferes in our process. Here we have people that neither bought forms or indicated interest or submitted themselves to the authority of the party. Here are people that now conceived a contraption sitting in their homes willfully against any known norms, claim they had primaries in Ijebubo, Eburuji Kasham's house. By so doing, now obtaining a court order insisting that all the electoral laws should be broken. The electoral law states clearly, only the party national shall submit names. Only the party national shall hold primaries. Those such derived names shall be submitted and the signature of the national chairman and national secretary appended.
Let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Linda Akigbe. Linda.
Hello, Ijoma. Now, staying with the elections, the proliferation of fake news and disinformation continues to be a major threat to democracy in Nigeria, especially in the build-up to the general elections. That is, according to the Director of Voter Education and Publicity for the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mr. Oluwole Osaze Uzi. The INEC official urges Nigerians to do everything possible to mitigate the negative effects of fake news and disinformation during the general elections.
One issue that has continued to gain prominence in the build-up to the 2019 general elections in Nigeria is the debate about how to manage disinformation and fake news. Part of the effort to identify and mitigate the huge negative effects of fake news and disinformation during elections is the reason why the Independent National Electoral Commission and the European Union are holding this conference for INEC Public Affairs officers in Abuja.
As you already know, dissemination of the fake news has very negative effect, not just on elections, but other areas of life, and must therefore be identified and discountenanced. In particular, INEC is concerned with a situation where mischievous individuals post unofficial election results on the internet. This has tendency of fomenting violence and mayhem, resulting in the loss of precious lives and properties.
Elections are, you know, an important tool for the consolidation of democracy. That is why I believe INEC places great store on capacity building so as to cement the gains of previous elections. This workshop aims to enhance your understanding of fake news.
During elections, political party agents have often relied on the speed and spread of social media to disseminate information that are habitually one-sided. Such misinformation and at times outright fake news can lead to violence with a huge potential to undermining democracy.
Anything that tends to subvert the will of the people in this regard is a threat to our democracy. Anything that promotes violence is a threat to our democracy. Anything that undermines the sovereignty of the will of people is a threat to democracy. And fake news, disinformation certainly does.
The Nigeria Press Council and the Nigeria Broadcasting Commission are the two principal agencies of government that regulate the content of broadcast and print media. While the mainstream media is highly regulated, the opposite is the case with the social media. Reason why it has to continue to be a vehicle for spreading fake news and disinformation.
The coalition of united political parties has raised an alarm over what it describes as a new plot by the federal government to arrest the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoye. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the spokesperson of the coalition, Mr. Ikenga Ugochinyere, claims that the chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal, Danladi Umar, has been directed to issue a bench warrant for the CJN's arrest if he fails to show up at the tribunal on Tuesday, January the 22nd. The coalition is therefore appealing to the Nigerian Bar Association and all progressive Nigerians to march to the tribunal on that date to prevent the conquest of a nation's judiciary. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja had earlier issued an order restraining the trial of Justice Onoye.
Just few hours after our release of the secret letter directing the freezing of the account of the CJN illegally without a court order, these men have, at the end of their meeting last night, directed the chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal, Mr. Danladi Umar, to disregard the order of the Federal High Court Abuja, which has directed the tribunal to maintain status quo and go ahead to issue a bench warrant on the next adjourned date being Tuesday, the 22nd of January 2019, in the event the CJN does not appear in court. The meeting of the Presidency Cabal also resolved and directed the new Acting Inspector General of Police that the immediate arrest of the CJN on the same Tuesday, as effort to be made to ensure he is served with the same order same day, following the issuance of the arrest warrant, will be his litmus test for his speedy confirmation as the substantive Inspector General of Police.
Meanwhile, an FCC High Court sitting in the Maitama area of Abuja has granted bail to Senator Dino Melaye, who is in the custody of the Nigerian police. Justice Halilu Yusuf granted him bail on the grounds of ill health, pending when he will be arraigned by the police in a competent court of law. Justice Halilu held that the court has the discretion to admit to bail or not, and in this instance, the court is inclined to grant the applicant bail. As his bail condition, Senator Melaye is to provide 3 sureties, 2 of whom must be owners of landed properties in the FCT, and the other who must be the clerk of a National Assembly. The clerk is also expected to write an undertaking that the lawmaker will be produced to stand trial. The court had yesterday ordered the police to explain its continued detention of Senator Melaye, who has been in their custody since January the 4th. When News at 10 returns, NNPC confirms payment of nearly $1 billion cash call arrears owed its joint venture partners as at September 2018. That's in business news. Please stay with us.